pleasant good day to you and yours. The time is approximately 5 minutes moving away from the 10 o'clock hour, and welcome to Voices for Today. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours, and it continues to remain in good stead. I must say before I start anything that we need a change in the weather. We definitely need some rain. If we don't get some rain, then the prospects of having a rugged and hard hurricane season is going to be more likely than not. We've got to get some rain and some good showers to cool the atmosphere, cool the ocean somewhat, and then from there we keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. But if we can get some good rain sooner rather than later, as soon as possible, then I think that we should fear fairly well the Almighty Creator willing. Now, there's so much happening around the world, so much chaos, so much strife, and we're reminded that we are referred to as third world countries or developing countries, and the advanced countries or so-called advanced countries are referred to as developed countries. And with development, they like to coin the word civilized, but yet still these so-called civilized nations have been acting the most uncivilized and causing the most havoc, and they have been doing so for a long time. The West has been creating havoc and benefiting from that havoc. But there is a change kind of brewing. It is slowly, gradually evolving. And the West is quite aware of it. The West is panicking about it. The West, they're trying to do all kind of things to intimidate the rest of the world to fall in line and keep business as per usual. But no. We have reached that point, a majority of people around the world have reached that point where we understand what has been happening. We understood for a long time, but we were duped. We were conned. People have been coming to us and making all kind of promises, and we've been hopeful and we've tried to go along. And all we find is just like in the old days when they came and did the same thing, it winds up never in our benefit. They want you to sign on to this. They want you to accommodate that. If you need some assistance, you've got to comply with a million trillion things. And the things that they are forcing you to comply to, they just casually disregard and go along business as usual. Why? Because might is right. Well, like I said, it's changing. And one of the things evident, well, two of the things that makes it kind of evident is the war happening in the Gulf, up there in the so-called Middle East, and also the World Cup. We've been seeing some changes. We've been seeing some rebellions. And it is sending a message to the West that, hey, we are enlightened. And we're not going to toe the line as happened before. Now, the last time I was here on my own, I delved into some talk from a former Jamaican prime minister. I'm going to go right back to that because I like to stay in vain. People tend to say we have a 7-day or 9-day memory, and then everything, goes back to usual. Hello, caller? Okay, we lost that call. Feel free to call back. And everything goes back to usual. Well, I like to keep on topic. And what I want us to realize is that, as I've said, there's a change happening. People are gradually awakening to the fact that the West has been duping us, has been exploiting us. And when I say us, I speak to us as a black people, and I mean us as a black people on the main continent, Africa, and around the world. Okay? But my main emphasis is on Africa because no matter what you may think, we as a black people will never be truly free until Africa awakens. Africa is still reluctant and still we have a lot of uh, puppets in leadership in Africa, but let's hope that they awaken. Hello, caller.
Greetings to you, Quint.
Good day to you,
You know,
Jenny.
I couldn't agree with you more. They are so afraid, Quint. And the fear that they feel now is to keep us divided and keep us apart. Because, like I keep saying, Quint, now we are calling for our unity, but it's not just unity we need, Quint. We have to know where and when we started and who we were, who our ancestors were, and we are connected, Quint. Now, let us look at what is taking place within the African continent, Quint, where the U.S. is asking for medical data of some of the African countries. Now, why would they want medical data of the African population when we have them with all their medical laboratories that is in Africa? They can throw out virus and all kind of things that would skew against African survival. And the sad part of this, Quint, is that there are there are African politicians who have agreed because they have offered them filthy lucre. They have offered them, the West and America have offered African politicians filthy lucre to sell out or to analyze the population of the Africans to viruses. We have William Ruto, who is in Europe right now at the G7. One single African politician singled out. Now let us look at when William first started, when he spoke about the new African financial architecture. His speech was so powerful then compared to his action. I mean, this Quint, I don't know what to make of this. I can't find words to describe what William Ruto, and it's not just him alone. Now we have Museveni is now calling for one military. Paul Kagame. I mean, what Quint, help me understand what is happening with our people.
But you
is happening right here in our space, Quint.
But Journey,
on the Caribbean.
But Journey, you should be able to understand. It is obvious. Some of these individuals, and we can look right here in the Caribbean and we see them. They only speak. It's all about rhetoric, but they are really Oreos, and you know what an Oreo cookie is, okay?
Yeah.
They only speak to. They have taken a page from the colonialist book. Speak, get them complacent, get them lulled, let them believe in you, and then show your true colors.
Quint, we haven't even begun to scratch the depth or the level of the trauma, the psychology that they have imposed upon us. We haven't, Quint, like I said, everything is skewed against us, Quint. We, the black melanated beings on this planet, they have brought this war to us because they know who we are and we are everything that they are not. Look at their footprints on this planet. When I said that we are here to nurture nature, look at their footprints on this planet, Quint. They are against the planet. Yes, I think Monday I stated that they have colonized God, they have colonized Jesus, and they have colonized heaven, and we swallowed their misery in an idol that they gave us called a Jesus at the Council of Nicaea. And here we are, Quint, our people, and for our famous guy, the Bible way. I asked him on Monday, Quint, to get out of the book and go within his DNA, his blood, his memory bank that have all that he is seeking for, that they have given us, that is external. What is wrong with us? You know, what I'm glad for in the book, Quinn, the book give us hint and ready-made answers. But we have to, when you look at these things closely, Quinn, I am saying that these ready-made answers is to keep us passive. When you get out of the book or come out of the box and you look at nature and you recognize that we are here to nurture nature. Our ancestors were in harmony with the universe, as above, so below. We are mini universe, our bodies. Oh, Quint, you know, I am so sorry for our people, because like Bob Marley has said, many more are going to perish and many more are going to suffer. Quint, I'll leave it there and I'll get back in later if I can and just expound a little more if you will allow me.
Okay, feel free to do so. Yeah, well, what can I say? When I'm on my walk, usually to work, because I've been walking all my life, unless occasionally, you know, especially when I'm going home, I tend to catch a bus. But when I'm heading to work, I usually walk. And when I pass a particular church, especially on a Sunday, and I see black people going into that church, I say to myself, oh, how lost we are as a people. Most all of the churches is all about a brainwashing. But there are some churches that are, if you just take a little time and do a little research, you see that these churches were founded on racism, on segregation, on blatant exploitation of black people. And to see this church in the Caribbean today, and black people are flocking there and singing and giving praise. Wow. Like Jenny said, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. But I don't stay hopeless. Anyway, let me go into playing the first of the continuation of clips with this particular former leader in Jamaica. And we're going to tie this because we as a Caribbean people, we're so fragmented. As soon as one of our Caribbean islands reach a certain level of empowerment, of success, we start to look down on our neighbors. We start to create all kind of problems as to why they must stay there and we must stay here because we don't want the burden and blah, blah, blah. Oh boy. And we see it happening presently in Jamaica, but let me play this clip.
We don't lack maturity in leadership, you know. What we are faced with is the reality of the exercise of power and might. If Prime Minister Andrew Holness, for example, were to say something or take a position that the U.S. president finds offensive, all he needs to do is to issue an executive order imposing a $250 tax on all airline tickets to Jamaica. Do you know what that would do to our tourism sector?
Yep.
Or simply say that as of the 1st of July, no remittances would be allowed to go from the United States to Jamaica. You understand what that would do to poor families that depend on that for their survival? Caribbean leaders are faced with just the rawness of power. And that power has always been there. What has not been there before is the brazenness and the extremeness with which that power is exercised.
Let me answer this, because recognizing that is factual. The role that people like yourself and the PJ Pattersons and the other former Caribbean prime ministers play in this regard, because you're in a different position to articulate what you've just said. We probably would not hear that from existing leadership.
And I want you to bear that in mind, what that individual just said. Does a former leader have a role to play? You may say, well, they serve their time, we have a different dispensation, and blah, blah, blah. We're not saying that they should try to usurp the power of the present individuals or regime. But what we're saying is they have a role that they can play, that can still be played. But that role is not played because there's no unison, there's no unity. We feel that if it is that there was a PAM leader and he lost and a Labour leader is in power, that former PAM leader can and should not contribute anything to the betterment of the development of St. Kitts and Nevis. The same. If you had a NRP leader and that NRP leader lost and you have a CCM leader, that former NRP leader you feel should have no contribution to the development of their country. And these are the things that keep retarding us. We're going to delve more into that because as I play the clips, you're going to see that, yes, former leaders have a part to play. Notice that this former leader didn't say anything disparaging about the present leader. And that is the thing. It's not about just being disparaging. If they do something wrong and you have to critique. But don't just come out and spew all kind of negativity just because you're not no longer in power. There's a country to go on. There's a people to develop. And you must be mature enough as a former leader to understand that, yes, you can contribute. And the present leader must be mature enough to understand that, hey, maybe what he just said makes a little sense. Maybe I can incorporate it into what I plan to do. But no, discard anything the former leader says. And the former leader discard and denigrate anything the present leader says. And the colonialist powers, those who intend on keeping us down, succeed. Because that is what they want. And that is what we do. Okay? And I'm going to show you here, because I'm going to play a clip now that deals with the World Cup. I'm not going to move away from the tangent I'm on, but I'm going to show you where things are tying in. And the clip I'm going to play for you shows you why Haiti will always be down-pressed by the West. The irony, however, is why is Haiti being down-pressed by the very people in our proximity who have benefited from Haiti? You think we are where we are today because the colonialist power decided, wake up one morning and decided, oh, I had this, inspirational change in my life and I'm going to just... No. It was because there were fights, because there was blood, sweat, and tears, because they had to pay just as we had to pay. So I'm going to play you this clip. And this is to do with Haiti and what is happening presently in the World Cup.
Haiti lost 1-0 to Scotland at the 2026 World Cup. And yes, Scotland scored. But Haiti should have had 2 penalties too, and the referee waved both of them off. No VAR review? Nothing. Today we are breaking down exactly what happened, why Haiti deserved those penalties, and what they need to do now because their World Cup is still alive. Let's talk about it. Here's the situation. Haiti and Scotland are both in Group C, one of the toughest groups at this World Cup, alongside Brazil and Morocco. Scotland scored in the 28th minute through John McGinn, a rebound goal from inside the box. Haiti had 15 attempts at goal. To Scotland's 9, they had more possession. They were the better team for long stretches of this match, and they walked away with nothing. Not because of quality, because of 2 decisions that should have gone their way and didn't. Minute 79, Haiti's Jean-Rigner Bellegarde unleashes a powerful shot inside the Scotland penalty area. The ball hits the hand of Scottish defender Grant Hanley. Clear contact, arm away from the body. Under the current handball rules at this World Cup, that is a penalty. You don't even need to debate it. The arm was in an unnatural position, and it directly blocked the ball. Referee Mustafa Gorbal from Algeria waves play on, and here's what makes it worse. VAR doesn't even step in. The technology that exists specifically for moments like this, moments where the referee might miss something, stays silent. If this handball happens to France, to Brazil, to England, that's a penalty every single day of the week. Haiti deserved that penalty. The rules are clear. And then it gets worse. In the dying minutes of the match, Scotland's Anthony Ralston goes in on Haiti's Casimir with a reckless challenge directly to the knee. The player is left with a visible wound on his leg. On the field, right there for everyone to see. The referee, nothing. No yellow card, no red card. VAR, silent again. In the same match where VAR ignored a clear handball penalty, it also ignores a challenge that injured a player. Two massive decisions, both going against the same team. Haiti, a smaller nation making their World Cup debut who fought hard, outshot their opponents, and walked away with nothing. That is not acceptable. And the entire soccer world is talking about it right now. So where does Haiti go from here? Their World Cup is not over. Not even close. In the new 48-team format, 3 teams from each group of 4 advance. Haiti are currently bottom of Group C with 0 points, but they have 2 games left. Morocco drew 1-1 with Brazil. They are beatable. Then Haiti faced Brazil on June 24th. Yes, Brazil, that is a mountain. But look at the numbers. Haiti had 15 shots in their first game. They created chances. They played with courage. If they can get a result against Morocco and even hold Brazil, they could still go through. The 48-team format was designed exactly for this, to give nations like Haiti a real shot. One bad night and one terrible refereeing performance does not end their dream. Haiti is still in this. Haiti deserved better. Last night, the players showed up, the fans showed up. The referee didn't. But the World Cup goes on, and so does Haiti.
Yeah, and so does Haiti. Now, would you believe that with all that Haiti is going through, I mean, I would have thought that these Haitian people would be so broken, so despondent, so defeated that in the World Cup, but you see what happens? Blatant. I saw the play. I saw the ball hit the individual's hand. You want to tell me a whole thousands of people didn't see that? The referee didn't see that? The people who would come from the back and say, well, okay, let's replay that. No, complete. Against a place that you've been down pressing for all of these years, and they're trying their best. And this is what I'm trying to say to you people. We have survived and strived because we never give up. It is that Haitian spirit, unbroken, still striving, still standing up in front of the world. And you're still to this day showing your colors, the rest of the world. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good day, Quint.
Yes.
Yes, greetings to you once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only, in Jesus only. We need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth. Now, you're speaking about the football. Well, quite honestly, I don't follow the football, so I don't have the slightest idea of what you're speaking of concerning this issue with Haiti and the referee. On another issue, I have said, and I will continue to say again, where these drought conditions that we are suffering from, and as the Bible says, when it give an explanation of why countries, people experience drought, famine, pestilence, you name them all, is because of our disobedience to the word of God. And as a result, God sent his judgment on the nations
and peoples and that sort of stuff. And the only way to truly secure ourselves from them in the blessings of Jesus Christ is for us to repent and start to obey the Bible. Now, I know people will say, well, agriculture, feeding ourselves, food and so is our security. No, that's not our security. Our security is in Jesus Christ. And he shows you, you disobey his word, the food you think that you have as a security, he will destroy it and wipe it away. And it is only by his blessings your crops them grow and prosper. So our security is really in Jesus and in nothing else or in anyone else. Now, and that includes our food security. Now, concerning the peace deal, the deal between the U.S. and Iran. Well, I am not a prophet, nor am I the son of a prophet. So I don't really know the future other than what the Bible says. The only future I know of is what the Bible says. Other than that, outside of what the Bible says, I don't know the future. Everything is just guesswork outside of the Bible. Now, my guess is this. I don't think that so-called peace deal is going to hold long. Just my gut feeling. Because you see, Netanyahu is, well, first of all, Netanyahu said he didn't recognize it. He does not recognize it. And it does not pertain to him. That's what Netanyahu has said concerning this deal between Iran and the U.S. And by the way, Trump had to submit to all of Iran's demands to get this deal done. But the Western media ain't telling you that. Trump is the one who actually lost because he had to submit to all of Iran's demands that they have been making in order to get this deal on the way. But I think Netanyahu going to do whatever he could to mash it up, to make sure it doesn't last long. Because
Netanyahu is going to do whatever he can to make sure that he eliminates Israel. He's unaware of it, but that is what he's doing. No, not
eliminate Israel, eliminate the Arabs.
Let me repeat again. You didn't listen. I said he seems to be unaware of it, but all his actions, all they're going to do is eventually over time eliminate Israel. Because the rest of the world, if you hear the kind of hate the rest of the world has for Israel, it is unbelievable. Okay?
No, it's true. It is true. It is true. It is true. But one of the reasons why I think he's going to do things to make sure it ain't last long, because remember, in Israel, he's under corruption investigation. And only he causing war is preventing him right now from going to jail. So if there's ever a peace, quote-unquote peace, quote-unquote, that is in the Middle East, then Netanyahu's chances of going to jail because of his corruption will increase more and more. And he ain't going to want that, and that's why one of the reasons why I think that this peace thing is not going to last long, because he's doing whatever to prevent from going to jail.
Look.
Again, and there are other reasons. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but there are other reasons as well.
If Netanyahu was to lose, I would believe Netanyahu would wind up in jail only when I see it. I mean, you all keep underestimating these people, you know. I followed Israel history way back when Netanyahu was leader, so long ago. And the things that he did, even I back then cringed, and I was so glad when that man wasn't a leader. And when I heard his name starting to come back up, I said to myself, I hope they don't put back this man in power. And they did.
Yes.
So by extension, they are to blame. It is like here in the Caribbean. We see some of the negative aspects of people who come and get on our platforms and say they want leadership, and yet still we go for them because we have this gripe against that, and we have this, and we sort of push aside the facts, the blatant things that we saw, and then when we are suffering now, who we expect to help us? It is the same with Israel. It is the same with the United States of America. Look, right now, the United States of America, even though the rest of the white world, and I'm going to say the rest of the white world may not come and say it blatantly. Some of them have said it, but the rest of the white world are looking and laughing at America behind its back. It is a laughing stock.
Yes.
And why did they go and pick this man and put him there? Simply because this man was glib with his talk, and he was on some shows, and he wrote.
Well, he lied a lot too, because he promised certain things that entice people to vote for him, like stopping the war, foreign wars and all those sort of stuff as well.
But mainly they voted for him because, whether people want to admit it or not, a black man had stepped into the White House, and that was the most despicable thing that could happen, and it was not supposed to happen, and it happened, and they were going to make sure it didn't happen again, and they felt like any white man was better than any black man. And so now they're seeing it. And even though we're suffering, and I cringe because the rest of the world is suffering because of this man's stupidity, but who are we to blame? Who are we supposed to blame? The American people chose. Is like with Israel when the people said, we want a king. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, let me say, and I'll tell you before I'm going to say, the reason why I believe God put up Trump, Biden, Obama, the Bushes, Reagan, the Clintons, you name them. The reason why I believe God has put them up is because of America's disobedience and the world disobedience as well to the Bible, and he put them there as part of his curses on us to judge us and to destroy us if we continue in our sinful, disobedient ways. That's the reason why I believe God put up those American presidents. And it is not by accident. Nothing is by accident. Everything is by the hand of God. Everything, be it good or evil. But let me also say this as well. I do not. Well, you said you doubt that Netanyahu will go to jail, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. But what I'm saying, this is one of the things that is mentioned. Why he is?
It's the same thing like when
going around
Greg.
Violent.
It's the same thing like when people are saying, "Oh, Trump is going to go to jail," and I mean, you look at it from a logical perspective and you say, okay, it should happen. But then when you look at the trend of how things play out, you say, well, I've got to see it happen, because remember after Watergate, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Nixon wound up in prison, you remember that? And President Ford.
I don't remember the prison part, but I know he had to resign.
Yeah, he was.
He went to prison?
Yeah. And the next president, Ford, the next president said, the next president came in and pardoned him and said, we can't have an American president in prison. You crazy?
Okay, I didn't remember the prison part. I remember the part.
Well, either that he went to prison or he was supposed to go to prison. I think, if my memory serves me right, he went to prison, but maybe it was that he was supposed to go to prison. And the next president comes and says, no, you can't have that. You crazy. This will set a bad example to the world. We are the superpower. Mm-hmm. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Quite understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Quite understand what you're saying. Anyhow, Quint, like I said, Jesus Christ is the King of all kings, and he's the Lord of all lords, and he's in control of everything. Nothing is by accident. Everything is by his hand. We obey his word, he will bless us. We disobey his word, he will curse us. And that goes for all nations, including Haiti, America, St. Kitts Nevis, the Caribbean, the whole wide world.
Yeah.
The Bible is true. The Bible is true. And Johnny, no, I will never move in the Bible. I will always be in the Bible for all of my entire life by the grace and spirit of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Quinn.
Okay.
God bless you. Enjoy you there.
Same to you. I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Welcome back. The time is 10:43 and we're continuing with Voices for Today as per usual. So we're going to get back on track. I started with a bit of a conversation with a former leader of Jamaica, and then we sort of segued into Haiti because, like I said, we're linked. We're one brotherhood. For whatever reason, we look at ourselves in a high and mighty way, and we don't seem to understand the magnitude and the significance of the history that has gone before us, and the fact that we only survived to today because our foreparents bled, strove, fought in unity so that we could be where we are today. And today, because we have some comfort, we fragment. We say, well, I don't want anything to do with them. Don't let them come here because they're going to bring their strife. They're going to bring their... We're not saying that you're going to... the population of Haiti is vast. So we're not saying you're going to bring Haitians here and put them all over the different... We're saying that as a Caribbean unit, Caribbean people, we should have been speaking in one voice and saying, Haiti needs to be free. Haiti needs to have its own autonomy. Yeah, we don't have the superpower structure to make it happen, but at least we should have been saying it. You understand? At least we should have been doing whatever we could in our own little ways to help our Haitian brothers and sisters. But no, we have arrived, you know. We're at the zenith point. The oppressor has now accepted you, you know. Your master loves you now. In your warped mentality, that is what you believe. Oh, well, you know, he sees me as his equal. Well, if that oppressor, former oppressor and still oppressor, sees you as his equal, why is it that you look at what is happening in the United States of America, the so-called superpower of the world, the country that feels it has the power and the right to police the rest of the world? Why is it treating the people of black skin the way it's treating them? Why? And you think that you out here living distant from them on these tropical paradises, that they come here and they love you? I'm not saying all of them do, but the main majority of them do not. And that is a fact you better rivet in your head. That is why for 400 years and counting, we as a black people have been oppressed, because the majority of the white people have never felt and seen us as their equal. Yes, there are a lot of them who have fought and who believe that a lot of the things that were done to us were wrong, but they were never in the majority. The majority have always been quiet, because they have benefited from it. And these are the facts that we need to look at. So why is it now that we feel as a Caribbean people we're supposed to fragment and segregate against our brothers and sisters? No. But our leaders are so daft they can't get it. Anyway, let me go back and play this clip.
The role that people like yourself and the PJ Pattersons and the other former Caribbean prime ministers play in this regard, because you're in a different position to articulate what you've just said. We probably would not hear that from existing leadership.
You're absolutely right.
Sometimes we come down very critical on leadership today. We also have to understand the magnitude of what they say and the impact it will have. How do you use that platform now, sir, to articulate?
I don't think that you can want a more strident Caribbean leader than Mia Motley. And yet, Mia herself has had to take into account the realities of U.S. aggression. And she's not doing that because she lacks will. She's doing that because she knows that she cannot expose the people of her country to the consequences of taking an action which displeases Washington. So you're right. People like P.J. Patterson and myself, and he and I have been in regular dialogue. We have a duty to say what current prime ministers cannot say. I don't see the U.S. suspending remittances to Jamaica or imposing a tax on airline tickets to Jamaica because of what I say. But they would do it if Andrew Holness said it. The only risk I run, of course, is that my visa can be revoked. I don't know if you're aware, the former president of Costa Rica, Oscar Arias, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, he posted on Instagram a comment in which he compared the U.S. president to an emperor. Within a few weeks, his visa was revoked. As far as I'm aware, it has not yet been reinstituted. So the point I'm making is that that's as much as you can do for me.
Yeah.
And most of the times when I travel to the U.S., it's really to make a connecting flight to elsewhere, and I can do that through other hubs. So that doesn't bother me. But I do believe that those of us who have been there, who understand the geopolitical space that we occupy, we have a duty to say what current prime ministers dare not say. And that's a duty that I'm not going to shirk from.
Great.
You hear that? You hear that? As a former leader, he feels he has a duty to say what the current leader can't say, because he knows. Now, this is mature thinking. This is someone who is thinking on a mature level. A former leader. He isn't there trying to pull down the present leader. He's saying, look, I know the capabilities of the present leader. I know what can be used against him. I am no longer the leader. I'm in a position, I've got some experience. I know how the thing works. So I'm gonna say certain things that he can't say, because if he says it, the whole country is gonna suffer. And here's what he says. The most they can do is take away my visa, and I have other alternative. You're hearing our leaders saying that? No. I've often wondered, what is it about this American thing that everybody's killing themselves about? My mother took me to the U.S. Virgin Islands when I was about 7 or thereabout. And living down there, I was in a position where I could have become American citizen. My mother kept asking me as I grew older, got into my teens, she said, "You want?" And I said, "No." You understand? I could have left and gone over to the U.S. I never wanted to. Now, I'm not saying if you want to, it's a crime, but I'm saying, why is it the major priority? Why do you love it so much that you will sacrifice everything else and everyone else for it? Aren't you aware that when people know what your nemesis is, what they can use against you, it will be used against you? So here's a mature thinking leader who says, Mayor Motley is one of the most outstanding individuals. That's a man saying this, again, to show you a level of maturity. This is a man admitting that the most outstanding leader in the Caribbean right now is a woman. And he says, but I understand the position she's in. She's got to be careful, because depending on what she says and does, the country will suffer. So I will make, and others in opposition will make certain statements, so that it not only lets the world powers know that, well, these people aren't so daft and ignorant, and it also lets your people understand that we are aware, we know what's happening, you're not fooling us. But when you just go and you toe the line, you don't say anything, you're grabbing onto this visa. You have a leader who, when he's in power, he takes away the visa from everybody else because, and then when he loses power, he's killing himself to get a visa. So he runs to another country and he sells out his country in terms of the citizenship by investment because they gives him a visa. These are the things that we're doing to ourselves, and then we're looking up in the sky looking for Jesus Christ to come and save us. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Quinn, sorry. Now, let us look at some of our political, our public figures in America that was assassinated, was unalive, like, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Now, they were these men were educating the black community against the system, the powers that be. Now, when you look at men like Martin Luther and Malcolm X, are they any different to the Jesus character? Now, for those who think that Jesus was crucified because of his religious beliefs or his religious teaching, Jesus threatened the rulers at that time, because he was telling the people that burden that was placed on them by the rulers, Quint, and of such he was crucified. That's the same system that is playing out against us today, from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King and others. But the writers of the story, Quint, the story is so compelling. But what we fail to recognize, Quint, that the very people that gave us the story are the same ones who unalive or crucified their Jesus. Now, what does that say about them? They gave us a white Jesus, And they are the ones that tells us that this is the only Son of God. And this God is the same creator of humanity. Now, does that make sense? But we swallow that misery. Are we not all the children of God? But we have to look at their concept of who or what God is, Quint. Because there is no God outside of self. The universe came out once, Quint, in all its manifestation of everlasting and eternal life on earth.
Journey.
Life and yes, Quint.
Look, one of the it is so baffling. People have heard me say it over and over and over again, and I'll say it over and over again, even though when I say it, a lot of the white folks may cringe. White people came from us. Okay? So if it is that we are the blueprint, if it is that we, the black, highly melanated people, is like I have my children, they came from me. They might be a little lighter in skin color, but why don't they want to admit that you came from me? And if it is that you came from me, the Father, and it is that I represent a God that is in my color, why is it that my children can't be proud of it? But you see, that is the way it used to be way back before they introduced race. But they introduced race and they made color a thing so that they could say, we are the pinnacle. But how can you be the pinnacle when you came from us?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at what the Russian leader did, right? People talk about Putin this and Putin that. Putin was bold enough to take out and show you the Bible and show you from their documented history that all of their worship and their was black.
Right. But Quint, not only that, not only in Russia, Quint, the ancient Chinese were black. There were black Moors in Europe before these. Quint, I'm going to hold my tongue. But, you know, our ancestors were on the four corners of the earth. Our ancestors were on the four corners of this planet. But you see, the whitewashing, Quint, this is why I say, right, when you look at their footprints, in as much as you would say, and there are many of us who say, well, they came from us. Well, let's just look at the breakdown of what they put in the book. What it says, when those that were cast out, when they saw the daughters of men, the daughters of the Most High, they went and they mingled. They polluted and created what they now have in their ways.
But Journey.
But this way they polluted what was sacred and holy.
But Journey, you see, I'm a realist, and this is why people aren't going to really like me. I'm a realist. I look at reality from every facet and aspect. And I, as a black person, if we as black people, yes, we are the template, we are the blueprint, but we're not perfect, you know. We never were. We never will be. We have flaws. And it is so, it is likely that our children, those who come from us, will have some of those flaws. Now, are we going to say because they come out and they have flaws? Yes, we know about the Neanderthal genes. We know that. And that is a question as to why people ask, why are they so more likely to lean towards war? And people lean and they say, well, maybe it is that Neanderthal gene. But what I'm saying is this. We're all human beings. I'm not saying it because I want to pamper them. I'm not saying it because I want them to come and embrace me. I want us as a people to be realistic and to understand the facts of life. The facts of life is that we are human beings. Go ahead.
Well, Quint, that's your take on it. I mean, there are many schools of thought to the information that I am now, privy to, and we might have to have a different conversation because we are looking at genetic makeup and chromosome, and there's a whole lot of things, Quint, and the information is there. You see, the tampering of what, as I said earlier, what was polluted and corrupted when they lie with the daughters of the Most High, there is where the pollution came, the corruption, because, as you said, we were in our space, Queen, and we were thriving. There was nothing called hate. There was nothing called color, because we were everything on the earth. Now, when they came and they gave us a story in this book that they call a created being, Adam, that was created. I mean, Quinn, there is so much question behind of that, right? But I've beyond that, because they tell us when Abraham died, he was 900 and plus years old, but Abraham was a grown being created. Yet they can tell us how old he was when he died. And we never question it, Quinn. But that again is for a different discussion.
But we never.
Because, you see, Quinn,
But one of the problems, Journey, is that when it comes to religion and even in politics, we're seeing the same. People just don't seem to want to question it. People seem to just say, well, let's don't rock the boat. Let's just, and especially when it comes to religion, because of this God thing and so forth and this fear, people say, well, look, just take it as we get it, swallow it, and don't question it. So you're right.
yeah, and that's why I said the book gave us ready-made answers that we are satisfied with. Only in the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, whom they crucified, but they didn't tell us how they crucified our ancestors. Our ancestors, the earth is crying out for the blood of our ancestors today, Quint. But only the blood of Jesus was shed for us. Hear Jesus, Quint. And look at this, Quint. In that very same book, they said, you shall have no graven image. Well, what is this Jesus that they have hung up in the house? Isn't it an image that we are happy with? Quint, one of these days, Quint, but I hope it won't be too late. But we have to fix what is within us for ourselves. Because everything that we have and everything that we have gravitated to are external, and it cannot liberate us.
Yeah.
We have to find ourselves from within and fix what they have imposed upon us, Quint.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And here's something. And I'm speaking mainly to those of us who are black, and we feel so negative about blackness that we go about, I say we, but not myself, we go about bleaching our skins. And our Latin American brothers and sisters who try to buy into and see themselves as white. Let me say this to all of you. This shows your ignorance. Because if you were wise, you would understand that the lighter you get, the more you move away from that highly melanated skin, that highly melanated being. That is not an upgrade. Study the science. It is not an upgrade. This is why these people, to answer Journey's question, want all of the scientific data on us. They want to understand how we exist, how we survive, and at the same time, while they're trying all kind of wicked experiments on us, they're trying to see, well, how is it that we thought that these people, we wouldn't been able to wipe out these people so long ago, that we got to keep studying these people. How are they surviving? And at the same time, while we're surviving, they're having all kind of genetic defects. Look, the facts of life are hard. I've often said there are very few realists in this world, because a realist has to accept the truth, and the truth hurts. I have to accept my truth. When I say I was young and I was a juvenile delinquent and everyone says I was supposed to die, get shot, killed, die in prison, amount to anything, how you think I made the change? I had to look into me. I had to see who I was. Why was I being that way? So that I could evolve. But the problem is, we as human beings, we don't like to look at ourselves. Michael Jackson song that says, take a look at the man or the woman in the mirror. We look and we see the superficial. We don't look into who we really are, what makes us tick. We know some of the negative, the bad things about ourselves, and rather than admit them and change them, we cover them up. And then we go out and we play a hypocritical thing. We smile to everybody. We say, I'm a Christian, I'm a this, I'm a that, we're everything but the truth. Hello, caller?
Quint, I just want to say this quickly. Now, we had our craft, Quint. We had our craft within our space. And our craft was demonized by them, right? They demonize our voodoo, Quint, in Haiti and in Africa. Now, there are Africans who might have used the craft to hurt other Africans. But it's our craft they are afraid of, Quint, because they know our craft, our ancestors had the ability to do things by not even speaking. We communicate through our drums and our dance that vibrate on the earth, Quint. And they were baffled by our craft, so they demonize it. There's an European general who I came across it recently. Quinn, forgive me for not remembering the name of this European.
You can't remember everything. I can't remember everything.
Fighting these Africans within the continent, and he wrote that they were fighting an invisible army. This European general wrote in his diary that they were fighting an invisible army, Quint. But they have demonized our craft and call it witchcraft. But they didn't call it witchcraft as W-I-T-C-H. They wanted to learn witchcraft, W-H-I-C-H. And here we are, Quint. We are plugged in. They have taken us from our source of power and they have plugged us into their Christianity that's taken us away from who
But Journey, here's what I'm saying. I am saying that we have got to be careful as a people and don't get consumed with hate. There's a difference between hate and understanding. I understand the situation and I know what needs to be done to survive and surmount it. But if I let hate be the main thing that pushes me, it's going to destroy me. Because with hate, I won't be thinking rational. I'm going to be thinking on emotion and passion. I want to be in control of every aspect of my capabilities, my reasoning.
Quint, I stated before and I state it again. I am not speaking from a space of animosity.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm not speaking to you.
From a space of knowing rather than believing.
I am not,
this, Quint.
Journey, I am not speaking specifically to you. It's a broad statement because there are many. This morning I got up and I was listening to a clip from a foundational Black American, right? And this individual, even though he was speaking a lot of factual things, he was so filled with hate. A black man, you know, called himself a foundational black, and he was so filled with hate that he was saying things like, referring to Africans like, you long-necked giraffe people, and you bush this and you. And I'm thinking to myself, so what do you think you're going to accomplish as a black person? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, Quint, you and I, we are knowledgeable, Quint, and we have to spread this information that we have. Because, you see, with me, Quint, my words does not fall void. The universe, the elements here, my words vibrate with the source from whence everything spawned from. So I know, like Gregory said the other day, Monday, that I am being blasphemous. But that word means nothing to me, Quint. The word blaspheme struck fear. Well, Greg, let me say this to you. And there are many out there who feel like, well, I am blaspheming, but that word does not mean a thing to me. Because what, Quint? I am speaking from knowing. I am reconnected but to those who walked before me, my ancestors, Quint. I'll leave it there.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to play, match, and win? With Caribbean Numbers, you can turn your favorite numbers into big cash prizes up to $20,000. For as low as $1, pick your numbers, play your way. Quiniela, Pale, or Tripleta, there's a game for you. Then match your numbers and win cash. It's fun and as easy as 1, 2, 3. Your numbers, your way, your time. Feel the thrill in every play available from any Caribbean lottery agent island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
And welcome back. The time 12 minutes moving away from the 11 o'clock hour. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Good day. Haven't heard you.
Hook up with you for 6 weeks now.
Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
I really have a tough time getting into you.
Yeah.
No, but about 6 weeks ago, you started this discourse, and I realized that it has continued.
Yes.
The mindset of us black people, how is it that we accept the things that we accept and how we try to convert ourselves into what we are not.
Yes.
And it is clearly we are not proud of our blackness.
Yes.
And so I listened to your pain trying to describe it, but let me ask this question. Could it be that we were so brainwashed that throughout our history, in my time going to school, I knew nothing about African history?
That is true.
And so because we were not taught from young, and even now our curriculum doesn't give us anything much about our black history, so we grow up in school and thinking that Europeans are it, and black people are nothing.
Yeah. When in truth and in fact, everything that they learned came from us. It took, as Journey was saying, it took the Moors, before the Moors went into those parts of Europe, the Europeans were killing one another, just the way how they're saying, oh, those black savages are killing. That is what they were doing. The problem is we bought into whatever they push into our brain, and we moved away from what was there before, and we started to copy them. If you look at the way we're living as a black people today, You don't realize everything we're doing. Look at for instance sex. I mean, you're a religious person, but let's be realistic. Look at sex. Look at a lot of the things that we as black people are doing sexually. We didn't used to do those things.
Sure.
All of a sudden, everything the white man is doing, you just jump on the bandwagon and you're doing it. Go ahead.
So the question is, how can we get our people to truly understand who we are? Because until we understand truly who we are, we're going to continue down this path.
That's it.
So what can be done to get us? What changed me is when I look at the Sharpeville massacre in South Africa in 1979 about?
Yes, they're about.
And when I look at that massacre, then it gives me a different outlook on me as a black individual and what blackness stands for.
Yes.
And I changed, I understood who I am, began to do it that time. And I began to understand that these Europeans, the way that they see us, and then I follow it down the line. But you know what happens? Even when that was taking place, there were black people who are supporting these white racist people who are destroying us.
And it's still happening today. I
Can
mean, let me show you a simple example. Two examples. One, this Haitian man who look at a black family, who look at a black boy, come into their store. He goes to a place that has beverages and so forth. He takes out some bottles of water, but then he puts them back because he realized that the woman, the wife of that family, she's just off from the side of the man, watching him like a hawk. He feels uncomfortable. From he got into the store, they made him put down his bag. He doesn't have a bag. All he has is the shirt that he has on. So he puts the shirt. You know how our old people used to do when they go to look mango and so forth. They take their skirt, you remember that? And they put the mangoes in. So he does that. He puts the bottles of water into the shirt, but then he feels so uncomfortable with the woman. You can see this, I'm not saying you can go on the internet and see this, with the woman just maybe 2 feet away from him, looking at him, and he feels uncomfortable. So he puts them back. Mind you, they had already told him to put down his bag. So he goes back, he goes out of the store, and when he leaves the store, these people, a husband, a wife, and a son, the only 3 people, they're the owners of that store. They're so concerned about a black boy stealing water that they leave the whole store unattended. You see it in the video, you see the 3 of them come out the door running after the black boy. And then you have black people who come and say, well, he shouldn't have stolen the bottle of water. He didn't steal anything. You hear it in the court when they cross-examine the son and they said, and what did you find out? And he's trying to hem and haw. And then he says, he didn't steal the water. And the lawyer says, would you repeat that? He said, well, he didn't steal. So he didn't steal the water. But you went out, run after him and kill him. Then black people are saying, but he had a gun. Up to now, we're not sure if he had a gun. These people planting on us all the time. Here's the thing. You're saying he had a gun in his bag or wherever. He's running away from you. The gun drops. And mind you, he's running, for his life. And the gun drops. And the father sees the gun drop and feels that he has a gun, he's going to shoot my son, so he shoots him in the back. If you're running from the time the gun drops from you, how long it takes your distance away from the gun? You're going to turn back, run back to the gun, pick it up and shoot a man? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but this is what black people do. Then there's the second one now with this young black man who goes to a game, doesn't have a history of crime. He goes to a game and 2 young white thugs come and accost him, and one of them wind up dying. They say, oh, well, he stabbed him and this and that, right? But what about self-defense? Now you're seeing that undisputed, people are saying, eyewitnesses are saying, these two white boys were suspended because they pick on people all the time, even their white cheerleaders. But the white media makes it like they're so holy, holier than thou. And then black lawyers get there and tell you, well, you know, why did he have a knife? Why do white people carry around guns around the United States of America? Why do they do that?
Because, brother, we are seen as less than.
Yes.
And we are those of us who see our self-worth in joining those who persecute us.
Yes.
Because that's going to give them some worth.
Yes.
And so they don't understand that we too are used by them. And when one of us or two of us defend them, they feel empowered to do to us what they have been doing over all these years.
Yeah.
And so you are right. We have to come together as a people, as a community, in order to stand up for ourselves and demand our rights.
Yeah.
But we are afraid to do it.
And hear this. One of the reasons I do that is to this SSZ, you know, because everything I say is tied in, you know. This SSZ where our leaders want to tell us that, oh, well, you know, this and all that. We didn't know about this SSZ until they dropped this AI thing on us, and we see this utopian thing that we know is far-fetched from reality. And then our leaders are the ones who keep selling us out, you know. And our leaders, you notice, they're very quiet about this. And I am concerned because it's either you're yay or you're nay. It's either you're for a thing or you're against it. When you're quiet on it, I feel you're validating it. You're just biding your time until you can spring it on us. Here's my concern with this SSZ. If they have this place and they have autonomy, they have their own space, their own laws, you know what they're going to do to us? Can people begin to understand the magnitude of, you come and you start, and then you know what's going to happen? Our foolish leaders are going to start to give them more big spaces and more big spaces. And at the same time, in Jamaica right now, the Jamaican leader is doing his utmost best to displace his own people from the shoreline. This is what our leaders are doing to us. This Jamaican black man is doing his best. Jamaican people fight to get land and title, spend their millions of Jamaican dollars to build their homes, and this man is trying to move them away because he feels that it is too good for his own black people. Just the same as you find they go here and they move. Imagine that you have people over there, black people, and you cut their water, you cut their electricity. Because what? To give it to who? Don't you see our black leaders are selling us back just like some of our black leaders in Africa sold us to the Middle Passage? They're doing it again.
So whatever happened, but at this time, we're supposed to be a more enlightened people, Queen.
Supposed to be.
We must stand up for our rights. But I find that our leaders have become so oppressive that people no longer feel like they have the right to go out and to protest and to stand up for our rights. And when our leaders are willing to sell us, you spoke about destiny, the creator of destiny, the one who is the brainchild behind destiny, has looked at us with such scant disregard that he has not put himself out in the public at no time for us to address him. He came on a podcast at one time, one solitary time, and on that podcast, he degraded our country and our leaders.
Yes.
And our leaders did not see.
No.
Because he said to that, one, Nevis is high crime.
Yes, we heard him.
And so he wants a space separate and apart from the rest of us. So the rest of us could die in our crime. He's not interested in that.
Yeah.
He wants a space for himself.
Yeah.
Secondly, he said that they don't want any government because governments are corrupt.
Mm.
And government should be treated the very same way we treat murderers and rapists and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's speaking about our government.
So Tulu.
And our government are still defending him.
So Tulu. So we can't read between the lines?
We are sold. we are sold. When you have the premier of Nevis is saying to me as a citizen that I must see Destiny as a separate entity to the rest of Nevis. But then the rest of Nevis and Destiny can walk together, can exist together. That is a vexing matter. When Destiny is saying we want our own judicial system, where the Prime Minister of the Federation of Thinkers Nevis and the Premier will have zero oversight over what goes on over in their zone. And our Premier and our Prime Minister, it seems to be hell-bent on giving them what they want. It says to me that they sold us. We as the black people, I think it was where it was, to me, someone who was country up in the middle, up in Europe. They have a little island apart from the mainland. And they were hearing that Trump's son and his daughter were trying, and the people got up, Albania, the people got up in an uproar and saying we don't want this, and that is not on the mainland.
Yeah.
And here it is, we are bringing 30,000 because Johnson said that he wants a zone where 30,000 families can live in peace, separate and apart from us.
Well, Tulu, the United States is vast, you know. The United States has parks and so forth that could take in St. Kitts Nevis so much time it is unbelievable, right? So why don't they go and do that in their spaces? Why is it that they don't like us but they want to do this in our spaces? Can't we see that they want back control of these spaces? Can't we see that when we allow them a space here and there, that is where they're going to get their power, and then someone like a Trump can say, well, we have our citizens down there and we're going to go and we're going to bomb you. You see that this man doesn't care about human being and human lives.
That is so true, but there is this popular song by King Ashraf of Nevis. I took the time out about a week ago to listen to that song and to write it out almost verbatim, because I was just getting the part, they're coming back again.
Yeah.
And when I listened to the message in that song, what that young man delivered, he's warning us against people like Destiny and these kind of people. But you know what happened, Quinn? The same artist who told us that we must look out and to save our patrimony for our children and to avoid them back into slavery, is here in Nevis supporting.
Well, you see, that goes to the fact. That is why I say that a lot of us are hypocrites. We don't look at ourselves in the mirror. It's a matter of convenience. I'm not about convenience, you know. I'm about what is right and what makes me feel good. You understand? And if something doesn't make me feel good about myself as a person, if I can't get up in the morning and move around this world and feel good about me, then I'm lacking. But there are so many individuals who can do that. From one side, recently there was this woman, after the story I told you about, the young boy, 14 years or so forth, who got killed. There was this Asian woman who came out and was spewing all kind of thing about you, calling the N-word and this, and if you saying to black people, you teach your children to thief and to this, and next thing you know, one of her own people, her own Chinese people, brought what they call these days the receipts that shows that she and her husband has been involved in fraud, embezzling people. She's been locked up for thieving and that kind of stuff. But when people think you don't know them, they come and they play this hypocritical thing.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I'll tell you something, Queen. For me right now, Jensen, whatever his name, who want Destiny, he's not my problem. My problem is the Premier of Nevis and the Cabinet of Nevis and the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis,
I agree with you.
who went to Parliament and passed an SSV law that they did not write.
I agree with
The
you.
Premier really said that he knew nothing about it. It was Attorney General's office. The Attorney General said he had nothing to do with it, but he has his drafters in the office. Then the Premier of Nevis turned around and said that Destiny are the ones who said that they wanted this SSC legislation. Okay? And when you look at the time when the Premier said he knew nothing about Destiny, about August 10th. And by the end of the month, you had the first reading of the SSV bill in Parliament. How is it that they didn't know nothing about it, and in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they created that? It was not crafted by us. It was handed down to us. And the Prime Minister took it into Parliament like he's the one who did it. It is absolutely clear that the Prime Minister did not even read all that was inside that bill that he took to Parliament. But the main instigator behind that was the Premier of Nevis and his wife. It was done to suit them. And then we have the Prime Minister now, who would have had the legislation, he would have had his 2 committees that reported to him. He would have read into this thing, what's going on here. What do we have to give up? And the Prime Minister couldn't come forward and say to us, hey, we have to pull back on this Destiny thing, similar to what Miss Motley did in Barbados, because she had a bill. And then she said, no, the people said, no, we have to take back that, take it off the table.
Yeah.
Our Prime Minister has been sitting on this thing for months with one thing, if there's nothing else. These people want sovereignty without any oversight from him as the Prime Minister. And he sat down there like what? Like a log? And has said nothing to us. That is total disrespect for me as a citizen. And so Johnson is not my problem. Mark Brantley and his team.
And Tulu, I agree with you 100%. This is what I've been saying. We need to stop blaming the white man for everything. The white man, we know after 400 years and counting of oppression, we should know the white man's agenda. But the problem is when we buy into, our leaders buy into what the white man is pushing and then try to sell it to us. Why do we pick them as leaders? Is it that they are unlearned, uneducated, they can't read, they can't decipher? They can. So if they can, why not scrutinize everything that comes to you? We've at this stage of our lives, we've learned about fine print. We've heard, because we have been duped by that so many times by mainly insurance companies, where we wound up and we say, well, you didn't read the fine print. So you want to tell me in this enlightened time, you're not going to go through things to know what is in it?
The problem that we have here is that these politicians are greedy. These politicians are doing this out of greed. Nobody could convince me that these politicians that we have do not understand that what the white man wants is a threat to St. Kitts and Nevis or sovereignty. They know about it, but they have calculated that out of this, when you look at the Premier's family, based on the land that they would have already sold and have agreement for, they have already walked away with millions of dollars. And this is what they're saying. And the question is, what our politicians were promised or have received
Tulu,
in exchange for selling us out?
Tulu, the last part of your statement where you said they have walked away with millions of dollars, I would prefer if you say it is alleged that they have walked away. Yeah, because we don't know that.
Let us use the term. It is alleged
Yes.
that they had walked away with. Sorry for that.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
When nobody is going to go to the depth of trying to get this Destiny thing if something was not offered under the table for them to benefit from. when you look at Destiny, one realtor, and the realtor is the wife of the premier. The premier is the one who is out there selling Destiny. Isn't that conflict of interest? Where's our ombudsman and the people who are set there in position to backtrack and to fact check these people? There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing there to stop them. It's greed and greed and greed and more greed. Why our politicians have gone on that road to sell us out. We have one of our politicians in Nevis. He was given treasury receipts, over $1 million to do a project over in the same day. Atlantic View Hotel. It came to, and then we are told that he has already sold. So what happened to the CBI receipts that was given to him? Did he turn them back in? I haven't heard anything. Were they sold? We don't know anything. And so you must ask yourself this question: what happened to us as a people? How could we sell ourselves out like this? And I'm saying something was paid to somebody somewhere, because what my Ver said that they paid governments lots of money for a piece of land. It is absolutely clear. You go back to where he's talking about sovereign enclave, and it outlines everything that they were looking for. And he said that we set the rules. We pay the government. We set the rules of what is going to take place.
Yeah.
And
Tulu.
everything that he said is what is being done here in Nevis.
Yeah. I want to take a commercial break, so we're going to have to,
Yes, it was
So-
not talking up with you, but
Right.
I am more interested in this blackness and how you could help me to get our people to understand who we are
for
and to
our
appreciate ourselves.
for our people to understand, before I take the commercial break, 2 points I want to make to you. One, for our people to understand, we've got to get bold enough where we start teaching our history in the schools. For the life of me, I can't understand why, as a black people around the Caribbean, we don't teach our own history. When we hear from the American about their history, their fight for the independence from Britain, we hear of the Jews talking about their fight against Germany, but our history, no. And we as a black people don't push it. But here's what I want to say to you, Tulu. You are part of a present party, and this is why I'm a realist, and people aren't going to like me. You're part of a present party. Your party was in power before. Your party hopes to get power again. I'm saying to you and your party, look at the examples that are being played out now and understand that if and when your party ever gets back into power, whether it's completely as a party or it's by a coalition, we don't want this nonsense, because this is what we keep seeing. We keep seeing people come and they speak and they sound good until they get into power. And they get into power and we see the same thing because they're lazy. Because here's the thing, Tulu. To run a country is a hard thing. When you get into leadership, you've got to find means and ways to provide jobs and make sure your country is successful. That is not an easy thing to do. And it seems as if the present day leaders, their way of surviving is to embrace everybody from outside and everybody from outside ideas to the detriment of their people. I'm saying to you, we do not want to see that in the future.
I am in total agreement with you. That is my mindset. Black consciousness, we have to build ourselves without having these people coming to exploit us. I believe that we have the capability to do it. It's just that those persons who are in office, they are looking at self, what they can get for themselves, and not necessarily what is best for the country.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then I am happy I got a chance to hook up with you again after 6 weeks, but it was well worth it.
Okay. Thank you. It was also well worth it on my part because I like to speak to people who are bold enough to just express themselves. I'm worried and concerned about the majority of our people who feel it's just comfortable to be silent. You don't understand that the more of your voices that are heard, it means that you're sending a message to the system. You sit behind and you say nothing. You're sending a message to the system. You're saying, continue doing what you're doing. You feel that all you need to do is wait for 5 years and go to the polls and vote. And all we're getting is, as I said to Tulu just a while ago, is we're just changing and changing, and they're doing the same thing. And it's not getting us anywhere but worse. We don't want that. So you have got to I don't expect that tomorrow the phone lines are going to be breaking down. But you want to tell me of how many thousands of people on St. Kitts and Nevis? It's 5 callers all the time, and you feel comfortable that 5 callers are going to be representing who? You? Let me take a bit of a commercial break, and I'll be back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosfords.
And we're back. The time 11:43. Let me see if I can go to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Hey, good morning, Queen. Good to hear your voice, man.
Well, good to hear your voice too. Good to know that we're both alive in the land of the living.
Yes, man. Then people don't talk. But you see, the thing is, Quint, it's good to blame somebody. But at the end of the day, we all have to take responsibility for ourselves. Responsibility goes across the board. We sometimes in these islands act like battered women. If he don't beat me, I don't treat me bad, he don't love me.
Yeah.
And so we complain to the ears that can't help.
Yeah.
We must complain to who could hear and who will listen and who have the ability and the power to act. But if I respond and say, oh, you treat me bad, oh, he do this, oh, he not do that, well, you're only complaining. What are you doing to help the situation? So it's more than just somebody that you put in position. They can't carry you, but they could set the tone and the tenor for us to move forward. So complaining and abusing them don't help. It does help, but you have to do something. You have to carry it to the ears.
So when
If
you
have
say
a problem,
so when you say you have to do something, give me one or two examples as to what you can do.
Both of us, I mean, 10 of us live in a village.
Yeah.
I have a problem, and I take the problem forward to the authority who can do something. And you sit there and you keep your mouth closed. And they listen to me, they hear me, and so on, and they say, yes, what you say sound valid, and so on. But how come it doesn't affect anybody else? How come nobody else is saying anything?
But that is what I'm saying.
How come you're the only one?
That is what I'm saying.
Nobody's supporting you. And so when you look back, everybody say, oh boy, Quint, you know, this is bad, you know. But when you look back, nobody behind you supporting you. They stuck it up to it, and then once they stuck up to it, then it become of the norm.
Yeah.
Because if anything happen, it's going to benefit you and it's going to benefit me. So why am I the only one who crying out?
Yeah. And listen to this.
And you,
Hear this. Our Calypsonians are to blame too, you know. Because
responsibility go across the board.
Because once ago, we the people look forward to when Carnival would come around and we had conscious social commentary. Because when those Calypsonians took the mic and we listened to their songs, they spoke to what was happening in your community around the Caribbean, whether this politician was faltering, whether he was whatever. But the Calypsonians have allowed the government to intimidate them to the point where they don't come, they rather to sing about sex and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So we don't have, and that was a historical part of our history. That was a historical part of the trend of us as a people, because we brought it from Africa, where the Africans used to, in song, be saying to their leaders, look, this is what you're doing wrong and you need to pull up your socks. But you kill that. And so we don't, not even from that perspective, the people have something to say, well, okay, we can hang on to this because look, those Calypsonians said that, and no, Calypsonians are, where are they?
Sometimes it's not the government. Sometimes the ministers of government aren't even aware what's happening. The instrument of those who are employed by the government have a tendency, great supporters, make things become stagnant, and the system will not function because lots of the players are not playing properly, or they can't play because their position is to make things stagnant. Some people don't create hurricane because they want hurricane come. You have a department named Consumer Affairs. A lot of people say, okay, I have a problem, so let me go to Consumer Affairs and complain it because I don't have any money to pay lawyer. You go and you make a complaint to Consumer Affairs, you're the only one. When you look back at Consumer Affairs table, people don't want nobody vex with them.
So do you think...
People don't want nobody blame them for anything.
So do you think
Me no want getting nothing. Me no want... But they're complaining still to everybody who can't hear and who can't listen.
So do you think it is right when we hear for a number of years now that it has reached a point where you're saying that people need to send in their lyrics and this and that so you can scrutinize them before, I mean, all this nonsense?
If somebody have the power, if somebody is setting authority and they go sleep tonight and they scratch their head and they wake up something and they throw it in your face and you accept it, it works.
Yeah.
It becomes the norm.
Yeah.
But if you reject it, because those people who trying these things in your face don't sing, they don't write anything. They just criticize.
Yeah.
They're what you call auditors of what you do. Mm-hmm. If you say no, and there will be no carnival and no calypso, then you will find you get action. But some people, if they go, you think they will stick out? No, they say no. By me, you can talk what you like, but I want these things. I gotta go, and they drop everything. So when you're arguing and you're standing up for something, when you look back behind you, nobody's standing up behind you to support you. And that's what you call unionized system, where people unionize and come together and a majority vote. Sometimes you get something done, sometimes you don't. But it's better to try and fail than failing to try. But you need support of those who are feeling the same pinch.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're just talking and you're just banging hot ear. How come you're the only one in effect? How come you're the only one got a problem with it?
Yeah.
And then when you ask them if they had a problem with it, they put their hand over their mouth and say, bye. Yeah, but me no want nobody vex with me. So we be cooking it.
And when the question
it blows them across the back.
and when the question is asked, well, is Quint the only one who has a problem? Why is he vocal when no one else is saying? You know what they do? They go behind your back. They say to these people, they say, I don't know why you don't hush him out. He realize only he alone.
Yes, true. It don't happen. So you're making nice for people who actually will not do anything or fail not to do anything because they don't want nobody vex with me.
Yeah.
But I could tell you one thing too. Also, the wheel that makes the loudest squeak get the most grease.
Is
and
true.
if you don't make any noise, you ain't gonna get no grease.
Mm-hmm.
So you better squeak.
You better.
And let your squeak be heard.
I like that.
But try and see how much everybody could see your point, and it'll be strong enough so that people can support what you're saying, and it has to be true and
Look,
convincing.
I'm a old.
Say things,
I'm an old man. I've lived my life. Huh?
you start to pull, you start to say you're old man. You're alive.
Listen,
you told me before you're alive.
let me finish my point. I'm an old man. I've lived my life. I've gone against the grain. People have said, you're going to fail. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. By the grace of the Almighty, I'm still here. I haven't hurt anybody, gone out of my way to hurt anybody. I've just sought to live my life and to express what I see. And because I reiterate again, because I'm an old man and I'm concerned about what I see playing out for when I'm not here, I don't want my children and my grandchildren and so forth to. Recently, my youngest daughter came to me and she said she was going to a parent-teachers meeting with her daughter and she wanted me to go with her, and I went with her. And this is what I'm saying. I don't want that next generation to be, I'm going out and I'm seeing disaster looming and I'm just going to say, well, I live my life. No. I want a better life for those who are coming behind me. That is why our foreparents bled and died.
Whatever impact you could make, do it, but do it respectfully.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, no one will be able to say that you did not try. It's always better to try and fail than failing to try.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we all need each other. Some people strong enough to speak out. Some people, maybe they're quiet. They support you from behind. But at the same time, support is needed in lots of different areas. And we have to stop like submissive women being battered and taking abuse from all who decide that they're going to give. People have a tendency, they see you, they think you're weak, and they will come after you for no reason. It's not something that you have done.
Yeah.
It's just because they just look at you and see that you look like you cannot handle yourself, so they take the heaviest punch that they could.
Yeah. I'm glad that you put emphasis. You but 3 times for the morning you came back to that battered woman thing. And those are the kind of discussions I want to have. I will delve into the things that people don't want to touch because, like I said, people don't want to be realistic. We want to live in a glass house and and pretend as if though we're not vulnerable, that someone can't hit that glass and it get broken. We go out there and we throw stones at other people's glass houses, and yet still we feel that ours is going to be protected. So I'm glad that you put emphasis on that, because that is another discussion. Often you heard me speak about the black woman and the black man. That is another rift they're trying to create, where they're trying to divide us, the black men, from the black women. We can't afford for that to happen.
Well, lots of men think they're strong because they could batter a woman and bully a woman because they think they're strong, but that is when you're most weak.
Yeah.
The strength of a man is to refrain from being battering, physically and mentally abuse someone. But lots of people feel like they're empowered and they have power because they could do people as they like and treat people as they like. But one of these days,
the poor going to rise and take the rich by surprise.
You know?
Elements thing now. And so I hope they're not surprised after they being battering and abusing for all these life.
Yeah.
They find that they can't get away with it no more. They will have any excuse to get away with it. So we'll see what happens. But it's always a pleasure. Good to hear you, man. And have a wonderful day.
Same to you. Yeah. Friend of mine there, occasionally when I see him, we sit and have a bit of a chat for a while. One of the few people I do that with. I don't often do that. You know, I'm usually going on my own and, you know, minding my own business. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can squeeze in this other clip here to do with go back to Haiti and why Haiti is being maligned and pushed aside and ostracized and victimized and exploited even in this present time. So give a listen to this.
A country waits 52 years to return to the World Cup. Their fans design a jersey to honor the greatest moment in their history. And 2 days before their first match, FIFA tells them, take it off. This is not a story about football. This is a story about power, history, and who gets to decide what a nation is allowed to celebrate. Haiti last played at a FIFA World Cup in 1974. That is 52 years ago. 2 entire generations of Haitian people were born, grew up, and grew old without ever seeing their national team on football's biggest stage. And the way they qualified makes it even more extraordinary. Haiti's home country is currently in a severe security crisis. Gang violence, mass displacement, and infrastructure collapse made it impossible to play home matches on their own soil. So Haiti's national team completed their entire World Cup qualifying campaign in a different country, never once playing on home ground. Their head coach, Frenchman Sébastien Mignet, has never even set foot inside Haiti since being appointed. Despite all of that, they qualified. On November 18, 2025, Haiti defeated Nicaragua 2-0 to seal their place at the 2026 World Cup. And here is the tale that made the whole nation weep. November 18 is Victory Day in Haiti. It is the exact anniversary of the Battle of Verdières in 1803, the most sacred date in their entire history. Haiti did not just qualify for the World Cup. They qualified on the anniversary of their revolution. Now here is where it gets controversial, because that same historic battle, the one that gave Haiti its freedom, ended up at the center of a major FIFA controversy. When Haiti's kit manufacturer, CETA, a Colombian sportswear brand, designed the national team's 2026 World Cup jersey, they wanted to do something meaningful. The jersey featured blue to represent the sea and red for the nation's strength and passion. But on the front, they included artwork depicting the Battle of Verdières, the decisive 1803 battle that won Haiti its independence from France. The Battle of Verdières, fought on November 18, 1803, was the final battle of the Haitian Revolution. Haitian forces under General Jean-Jacques Dessalines defeated Napoleon Bonaparte's army, at the time the most powerful military force in the world. On January 1, 1804, Haiti declared independence, becoming the first nation ever founded through a successful slave revolt and the first black republic in the modern world. That victory also had a direct ripple effect on global history. After losing in Haiti, Napoleon abandoned his ambitions in the Americas and sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States in 1803. This is not a minor footnote. This is one of the most significant moments in the history of human freedom. CETA designed the jersey in full consultation with the Haitian Football Federation. Haiti wore it in 2 warm-up matches against New Zealand on June 2 and Peru on June 5, both in Florida. The jersey sold out almost immediately, so if everything seemed fine, why did FIFA step in? And why did they do it at the worst possible moment? The very day the World Cup opened, FIFA ruled that Haiti's jersey violated its equipment regulation. FIFA's laws of the game, under Law 4, state that basic compulsory equipment must not carry any political, religious, or personal slogans, statements, or images. FIFA concluded that the depiction of the Battle of Verdières could be interpreted as a political or military statement. Haiti was given no choice. They had to redesign their jerseys before their opening match against Scotland on June 13. Now, FIFA's rule about political messaging on kits is real and has been applied before. In 2016, FIFA threatened England and Scotland with disciplinary action for wearing poppies on their jerseys to honor war veterans on Remembrance Day. So FIFA has enforced this rule against European nations too. The rule itself exists. Here is something almost no one is talking about. For Haitians, the Battle of Verdières is not politics. It is identity. This is the second time in 2026 alone that Haiti has faced this exact same situation. Earlier in 2026, Haiti's Winter Olympic delegation was forced to make last-minute alterations to their uniforms after the International Olympic Committee ruled that artwork depicting revolutionary leader Toussaint Louverture, one of the founding fathers of Haitian independence, violated rules on political messaging. Two major international sports organizations, two different events, same country, same history, banned twice in 1 year. Haitian midfielder Jean-Rickner Bellegarde, who switched his allegiance from France to play for Haiti at this World Cup, said ahead of the tournament, "We know that people might have a bad image of our country, that it has many problems, but this will do so much good for the country. And this is the wider picture. Haiti faces a travel ban that prevents most of its own fans from even entering the United States to watch the matches. There is a legitimate debate happening here, and it is important to be honest about both sides. FIFA's equipment rules apply to everyone. The rule is not targeting Haiti specifically. FIFA has enforced it against powerful European nations before. Rules that govern a global competition need to be consistent. The team name itself, Les Grenadiers, is a direct reference to the Grenadier soldiers of Haiti's revolution. No one has asked them to change that. The flag on the jersey was also allowed. Haiti qualified for this World Cup without playing a single home match. Their coach has never visited the country. Their fans cannot travel to watch them, and their jersey was banned 2 days before kickoff. If there is a team at this World Cup that represents something greater than football, it is Haiti. Because Les Grenadiers are just getting started.
Yeah, and so don't get it wrong. I don't have a problem, and we don't have a problem with FIFA's rule, because like the narrator says, you got to be consistent. But here's what I want you to understand. It's about why people protest. It's about sending a message. Haiti was well aware that this would not be allowed, but their intention was to send a message. And the message has been sent. And the message is, no matter what you put us through, no matter how you despise us, you won't let our fans come and see us, you ostracize us, we remember our history and we are proud of it. And that is what we're saying. We're saying that you and we as a people need to reach that point where we have a statement to make, and we make it. Stop sitting down and being quiet, because to be quiet is to be submissive and to accept the abuse. So, good for you, Haiti. Me, as a student of history who knows I am where I am today because of what you did, will always be proud of you and will always stand in your corner. I'm going to now segue into the midday news. It has been a pleasure as always. Do stay tuned.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Come Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, Now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip. With Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
With the WinFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: Energy Minister says resiliency built into new solar farm standards addressing concerns for hurricane season. Deputy Prime Minister emphasizes capacity building for autism spectrum disorder at pediatric therapy facility opening. Internationally, vague deal text designed to give both US and Iran victory at home, analyst says. Now the details. St. Kitts and Nevis continues to charge forward to reduce reliance on fossil fuels and increase reliance on renewables as the volatility of the global fuel market remains ever present. Castalia, acting as the transaction advisor, helped facilitate the state-of-the-art photovoltaic PV and battery storage project in the Royal Bastyr Valley National Park. The solar generation and large-scale lithium-ion battery energy storage system, designed and managed by the St. Kitts Electricity Company and Leclanche, is expected to supply over 30% of the island's electricity demand. The climate resilience of the solar farm projects is pivotal in the face of worsening climate events. While the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season is predicted to be below average, one Category 5 storm is enough to severely damage infrastructure, livelihoods, and the economy of a small island developing state like St. Kitts and Nevis. Resiliency is key to withstanding intense Caribbean hurricanes and eliminating volatile fossil fuel dependencies. Minister of Infrastructure et al., the Honorable Conrys Maynard, during a press conference on June 15, 2026, said that resiliency was built into the request for proposal for the project.
Part of the requirement of the RFP is to build a system that can withstand a Category 5 hurricane. So the requirements are specifically listed in the RFP. Obviously, Jamaica recently had one, so all of these experiences will play into the development of this particular system. My concern won't be necessarily for the battery energy storage systems. Those are actually going to be quite resilient to any level of storm just because of their form factor. The main concern, of course, will be the panels. But the panel themselves ordinarily is not usually the challenge. It is a structure that holds the panel. And so I think that there are going to be stringent requirements of what that structure would meet, or there are stringent requirements of what that structure needs to be to ensure that at the very least we can withstand a Category 5 hurricane.
Clement Williams, the general manager of the St. Kitts Electricity Company, explained some of the details in the request for proposals that addresses the need for resiliency in the project's build-out.
With respect to the standards, there is an entire annex in the RFP specific to the construction details that have to be adhered to maintain Cat 5 resistance for the solar panels. Our consultant, Castalia, has done similar projects all over the world, and they have ensured that the data in the annexes are very secure, and once the contractors follow these procedures, then we have nothing to worry about. The solar modules will be able to go through the Cat 5.
While plans can be made to account for resiliency, the dynamic nature of storms and the rapid intensification seen over the past decade cannot negate the probability of damage completely.
Obviously, this always comes with a caveat, because these are storm winds that we simply cannot fully predict. While you may have a rating for 165 miles sustained winds, the storms continue to increase in intensity, leading to maybe even higher sometimes, but we simply do not know.
True energy grid resilience requires backups and redundancies. While the operationalization of a geothermal plant is still some time away, funds have been secured and the procurement for the facility is the next step.
With respect to geothermal funding, that remains the same, which is the CDB $17 million funding arrangement, $16 million being for the drilling purposes and $1 million being for the technical assistance, and then the access to funding from the Saudi fund, which will come after the funds from the CDB are exhausted. The agreement for the drilling, I think, has been reached and signed, and so now they're working through the mobilization of getting that project started. So the funding still exists for the project that has been procured. What's next now is developing the procurement process for the development of the actual plant to produce the energy. Those figures have not been finalized, that procurement has not been finalized, but obviously we do have some time before we get to the development of the plant itself.
To complement the solar network, the expectation is that the geothermal energy facility on Nevis, once operationalized, will help carry some of the energy load, creating a fully redundant multi-source renewable system capable of powering the entire federation continuously, moving the islands toward the goal of becoming a 100% sustainable island state. The opening of the Discovery Center, a pediatric therapy facility on June 15, 2026, represents a vital advancement in development care for children across the Federation. The collaborative hub unites public and private resources to deliver essential therapeutic interventions in an inclusive state-of-the-art environment. The Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Deputy Prime Minister, noted that the facility expands critical care for autism spectrum disorder to maximize every child's full potential.
Ladies and gentlemen, this morning is a testament to the philosophy our Prime Minister often champions, the whole of society approach. We are not merely cutting a ribbon today, we are changing lives and moving forward. We have heard the cries. We have sat in the living rooms with mothers who have run out of tears. We have listened to fathers frustrated by navigating medical systems alone. We have seen grandparents step up with love, but without the tools. We heard the stories of late nights, searching the internet for answers that should be available right here at home. And today, we prove that we act. The Discovery Center is the answer to that prayer.
A joint venture between the Discovery Center, the Star Foundation, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, the pediatric therapy facility is designed specifically to expand access to specialized therapy services for children while supporting local families.
Autism spectrum disorder is not a fault. It is not a curse. It is a condition. A condition that is often lifelong and one that without support can result in functional limitations. It can require costly, specialized medical, educational, and intervention services. This government does not look at those costs and turn away. We look at the individual. We look at that potential. We believe that with coordination, with compassion, and with science, we can maximize every single person's functioning and reaching their potential.
Built on over a decade of local capacity building led by Dr. Cheryl Rosen, an autism services specialist and Star Foundation leader, the facility directly aligns with a broader national framework that targets early intervention, dignity, and learning inclusion. In regional news,
Kingston and Washington are expected to begin talks on a proposed agreement that could see Jamaica accept up to 10,000 non-Jamaicans deported from the United States. Kingston and Washington are expected to begin talks on a proposed agreement that could see Jamaica accept up to 10,000 non-Jamaicans deported from the United States. A draft memorandum of understanding outlined in a U.S. Embassy document would allow the U.S. to transfer up to 25 third country nationals to Jamaica every 2 weeks, subject to Jamaica's approval on a case-by-case basis. The proposal follows controversy over similar agreements, including the 2025 deportation of Jamaican national Orville Estoria to Eswatini, despite having no ties to that country. He was later repatriated to Jamaica after international pressure. The draft agreement will exclude Jamaicans, unaccompanied minors, and individuals convicted of serious crimes, except for immigration-related offenses. Before any transfer, the U.S. would provide available biographical, medical, and criminal information on each deportee. The U.S. says the initiative is aimed at deterring irregular migration and has pursued similar arrangements with more than 30 countries, including several CARICOM states such as Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. Meanwhile, Jamaica's opposition leader Marika Golden is calling on the government to clarify reports that Jamaica and the United States are considering an agreement to temporarily house foreign nationals facing deportation from the U.S. before they are returned to their home countries. Speaking on the sidelines of the Jamaica Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay, Golden criticized the lack of official information, saying the issue emerged through a leaked document rather than a government announcement. Golden said Jamaicans need to know the details and benefits of any such arrangement before taking a position, noting that other Caribbean countries have entered similar agreements. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres visited Haiti on Tuesday, where surging gang violence has left more than 1 in 10 people homeless. New statistics released by the UN reveal that 2,300 people have been killed across Haiti so far this year, with another 100 kidnapped, while 1.5 million have been displaced. Among those abducted is James Boyard, Cabinet Director of the Defense Ministry, who was kidnapped last week in one of the few relatively safe areas of the capital. Guterres' one-day visit to Port-au-Prince comes after more than 30 people were killed, injured, or went missing last weekend in Cité Soleil, a seaside slum, according to Cooperative for Peace and Development, a local human rights organization. Bermuda's opposition is demanding a referendum before any decision is made on full membership in CARICOM, arguing that the public deserves clear answers on the costs, benefits, and implications of joining a regional bloc. Dwayne Robinson, the One Bermuda Alliance's shadow minister for Home and Community Affairs, said the party supports Bermuda's cultural and historical ties to the Caribbean, but believes the island's current associate membership status remains the best fit. He questioned what full membership would deliver beyond existing benefits and warned that Bermuda's status as a British overseas territory could limit its influence within CARICOM while increasing costs. The call comes as the government reviews feedback from a recently completed public consultation. Home Affairs Minister Alexa Lightburn said concerns about costs, immigration, and border policies will be addressed in a forthcoming white paper. Lightburn argued that Bermuda must explore stronger regional partnerships as it confronts challenges including the cost of living, housing and economic resilience, describing the CARICOM debate as part of a broader conversation about the island's future. Jamaica's Education Minister Dr. Dina Morris-Dixon has urged patience from school administrators and parents in the rebuilding of institutions that were extensively damaged or destroyed by Hurricane Melissa. She was speaking Monday at the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay, St. James. Dr. Morris-Dixon reiterated that the government secured $18 billion through the Ministry of Finance to rebuild hundreds of schools damaged by the hurricane, while ensuring that the institutions are reconstructed to higher standards capable of withstanding future storms. She acknowledged the public concerns about the pace of reconstruction, but restated that rebuilding efforts are competing with housing and business restoration projects for labor and equipment.
We now bring you these international reports.
The Memorandum of Understanding is a policy framework rather than a peace treaty. It means it's not legally binding. Washington and Tehran electronically signed the agreement on Sunday. The framework's expected to be signed physically in Geneva on Friday. Under the framework, and upon signing, the US will end its naval blockade on Iranian ports and the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened. To discuss this further, we're joined now by Mohammed Islami, a research fellow in Middle Eastern and North Africa studies at the University of Tehran. He joins us from the Iranian capital. Mohammed, thanks again for your time. Iran's response to the details of this MOU being leaked is that it contains some deficiencies. What might be missing, do you think?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. Right now, there is a great ambiguity regarding the text of the Memorandum of Understanding, however, we should consider that this is the only way that they can achieve a kind of compromise on a text. So right now, both parties in Washington and Tehran have the capacity to frame it as a kind of victory after the negotiations, after signing the Memorandum of Understanding and also sharing the full text with other parties and also with those who are waiting for them in their internal politics. So right now, there are some reports claiming about something like, freeing the frozen asset of the Iranians, also controlling the Strait of Hormuz, also regional security. So anyways, we should wait for them to sign the deal physically in Geneva, for example, and then there is a kind of long marathon for them to be started after signing the interim deal. They should talk and they should have lots of hard discussions regarding the details of the topics of the negotiation, for example, about the details of the Iranian nuclear capability and also other things.
Yeah. Are you suggesting when you mention things like frozen assets that the number is wrong or just the entire concept is missing nuance and detail?
You know, when it comes to something like frozen asset, there were two main problems. The first one was what Donald Trump himself made problem for himself when he talked a lot about the JCPOA as Obama deal. Americans cannot have any kind of achievements without solving the problem for the Iranians to access their own frozen asset. However, Donald Trump wants to frame it as a kind of paving the way for the Iranians to access international market and international investment on the Iranian fields, for example, oil and gas field. So other things is the Iranians cannot trust Donald Trump because last time when they have ignited the war on the Iranians, they were in active negotiations in Geneva. So the Iranians came up with an idea to have some kind of sideline cooperations with other countries like Qatar or Islamabad in terms of having some kind of economic and security measurements outside the text of the Memorandum of Understanding.
Mohammed, you talk about trust there. The agreement calls for an end to the war on all fronts, including Lebanon, but it doesn't actually specifically appear to name Israel or Hezbollah. Are you worried that that provides enough flexibility, for instance, for Israel to pursue its current course of action in Lebanon?
You know, right now, Israelis understood that Donald Trump cannot tolerate them to sabotage any kind of achievements by Donald Trump in terms of diplomatic settlements with the Iranians. There are lots of discussions between the Israelis and Americans. There is no trust between them right now. It is public. Donald Trump is talking publicly and criticizing Bibi Netanyahu. But when it comes to the Iranians' point of view regarding the regional security is much more different after the war. We witnessed that the Iranians, for the first time, preemptively strike the Israelis in order to support the Lebanese and the Beirut and Zahia, for example. So right now, if Donald Trump cannot control the Israelis and Bibi Netanyahu, while Bibi Netanyahu at the time of their internal elections, so after that they cannot achieve the final deal with the Iranians after this 30 or 60 days window.
Health officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo are warning that the Ebola outbreak has not yet reached its peak. Insecurity in the country's eastern region is hampering containment efforts. More than 70,000 displaced people are living under siege-like conditions in a displacement camp in Ituri province, the epicenter of the outbreak. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in the DRC has now risen to 837. Nearly 200 people have been killed by the disease. Well, the head of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention told us this outbreak could become one of the worst ever recorded.
When you have one confirmed case of Ebola, and you have that in the urban area, where you have a lot of activities, trade, mining, for each person who's positive, who's tested positive, you have 40 people who are what we call contact list. Then, if you see what Uganda is doing, for 19 people, they have more than 800 contact lists. It means they are doing a great job to look for all people can be in contact directly or indirectly with those who are infected. But unfortunately, with the total of 800 cases now that we have in DRC, we are expecting 32,000 people in the contact list, but we just have 6,000. It means maybe insecurity and also not more people on the ground to support for surveillance. That are main reasons that we are bringing together and we need to address.
واحد اطلاق
14 years of war buried Syria's ground with mines and unexploded bombs in Deir ez-Zor. The land is still soaked from last month's river flood, and the soil keeps shifting. People speak of two fears, the visible water and the hidden mines. When the Euphrates flooded Deir ez-Zor last month, it moved more than just people. The water unearthed remnants of the war and brought old dangers back to the surface. Thousands of families were forcibly displaced by the flood. As the water recedes, farmers and cleanup crews return. According to UN agencies, Deir ez-Zor is the most heavily contaminated part of Syria, with roughly a quarter of all the country's unexploded ordnance. Along this bank, teams have returned to lands they previously cleared because of the recent floods.
The flooding in this area has been very challenging for our teams. Challenging in such that ground that may have been cleared before is now not cleared and needs to be re-cleared due to the movement of UXO items.
According to the UN, children make up nearly a third of those killed by explosives in Syria since the fall of the former government. Farmers and shepherds account for most of the recent deaths. The danger continues beyond the river. After the farmland, the Syrian desert, known as the Badia, remains littered with wartime explosives that were never cleared. For years, government forces, opposition factions and ISIL fought across this belt. It's believed the last ISIL cells hide here, planting more mines on roads to bases, oil fields and other areas. Floodwater and seasonal rain wash some mines into the tracks where shepherds still move their flocks. In remote areas, civilians often try to disable the mines themselves. Abu Hamza volunteers, following in the steps of his late brother.
This region urgently needs greater demining efforts. Thousands of landmines remain scattered across the area,